Hello and welcome to the Sheffield United Way YouTube channel. My name is Nick, and I can't believe we're saying this. This is the first home game of the season. First game of the season. Let's all get excited. Anyway, before we get into it, let's bring in Mr. Hal Stewart. How are you doing, mate? Welcome to the stream.
Thank you very much. I've had a haircut. I don't really like it. It looks like I got a little poo on my head.
Right, okay. That's a great start to the season, isn't it?
Welcome
Excellent
back, everyone. We're off, we're running, and we're ready for Birmingham. Hey, you asked. You always get honesty with me.
Do you know what, though? I asked you off air, and you told me that, so I thought that would be it. That'd be fine just to tell me off air. That's great. Anyway, let's get into this. So, Birmingham Preview. It's at Bramall Lane, 8 p.m., 7th of August on Saturday. It's also live on Sky Sports 2, isn't it, Hal? That's
Sky
where you're good.
Sports Football, it's called nowadays, 7:30 p.m., yeah.
If you weren't sure what you were watching, Sky Sports Football.
Yeah, absolutely. And our watch along, as you were about to say, starts on this channel at the same time. We are not giving up the watch alongs. Every game that is on TV, we will endeavour to do a watch along for you.
Absolutely. When you say we, you mean you and Adam, don't you?
Yeah, because you're going to be going to a lot of the games, and we're going to wait and see, aren't we, Nick? You and I, we might end up going to Swansea away. The only thing that we're waiting on ticket information. We just don't know how many tickets are actually going to be allocated. You've already said to me, you think even though it'd be the first time we've ever met, we should stay in a hotel. I don't know what kind of girl you think I am, but we'll just play it by ear.
I'm not sure who said that to who, but I remember it slightly different. But anyway, let's move on from the weirdness. It's not late night, Sheffield United way.
Not yet.
Not yet. It will be tomorrow night, though, won't it, Al?
Exactly. Hey, the referee for this encounter, by the way, is Tim Robinson. He of West Sussex. And you might remember,
Tim Robinson.
It is. It's Robinson again.
It's always him. Always
Finland
him.
In 2019, which was in the League Cup. We actually lost to Sunderland in that game.
All right. Well. Oh, well. We might have lost Sunderland, but now we're trying to give them our youngsters. So, that's what's happened in recent times. Anyway, so shall I crack on and start talking about the last game? It's a bit of a difficult one to do because actually the last game was Doncaster Rovers away in a friendly. It would have been Norwich City, but it was called off because of COVID. So we've only had 2 games in the lead up to this season, but we did beat Donny 4-0. I went to the game. We absolutely romped home, didn't give them a sniff. I think they had one shot at Rammers early on that was very easy to stop. And then I think old League One Wes dropped one at one point. I weren't even looking. That's how much I weren't expecting anything from it. But League One Wes apparently dropped one and nearly gave them a goal. But we absolutely romped home. Everything was brilliant. I know it was only Doncaster Rovers. They had a few trialists as well. But we played them off the park. Sander Berge was incredible. Only played 45 minutes, which we kind of didn't want to exert him too much. We want him firing for this game. We'll get into team news and that in a bit. But yeah, from this game, we were by far the better team. They were nowhere near us. And it gave me a lot of hope going into this season. But it was only Doncaster Rovers, wasn't it, Hal?
Only Donny. You did a great job surmising it. And, of course, we've got Birmingham. Last time we played Birmingham, if I say away, that was the 1-1. But the last time we played them at beautiful downtown Bramall Lane, I'll take you back to the 19th of September, 2018. Not a great game. I went to this one, 0-0, 23,525. It will be higher, the attendance. We know that already. Birmingham hit the frame of the goal in both halves, having 13 shots on our goal. I mean, we weren't playing Manchester City here. We were playing Birmingham City. Lukas Juktovic, nailed it. He struck the post from. He struck the post from 20 yards out in the first half before Gary Gardner, that's a name, free kick from similar range, came back off the upright with just 10 minutes left. I remember thinking that one was in. Dean Henderson was the hero, denying Conor Mahoney late on, as the Blues somehow didn't win this one. I mean, it was an awful Blades game. City were managed then by Gary Monk. Their current gaffer, Nick, is Lee Bowyer.
He is. He is. So sorry about that. There we go. We're just a bit rusty here, aren't we, Hal? Bit rusty. That's all my fault. I'll put my hand up for that one.
He's got August hands.
August hands. What's August hands, Hal?
So, if you've not heard me say that before, your early form as a goalkeeper, you've got August hands, but by the middle of the season, as we saw actually with Aaron Ramsdale, he perfectly exemplified exactly what I'm talking about here. Your hands get better and better, more used to it. You know, as a darts player, you'd say getting your eye in.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's hope that Rammers doesn't have August hands this season, or September hands, or even October hands. But anyway, let's move on into team news, because I think there's only really four. And the fourth one I'm going to come to Hal about, because I've not seen old Big Slav's interview. So Ollie McBurney and Billy Sharp both didn't end the season. Both are fit, but they've not had any preseason games whatsoever, not even a minute under the belt. Neither of them were even in the squad against Doncaster Rovers. So what Slav said was that they were going to be fit the day after the Norwich game. I never understand how these things work, but the day after the Norwich game, so they wouldn't have had any minutes under the belt anyway. So they might make the bench. They probably will make the bench, maybe one, if not both, because they both have got a lot to offer. But it looks like they're both going to be fit. But yeah, as we say, we've not seen either of them, and I'm not expecting either of them to start. Ender Stevens, not fit. Let me just bring Hal back in. Ender Stevens, not fit at all, Hal? That right?
Yeah, he's not going to make this game, you know, like Rhys Norrington Davis. Good thing we've got a few left backs, though, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got a couple, haven't we? We've got a couple.
Yeah. So it could be Jackie Longthrow, could be Max Lowe. I personally think it'll be Ben Osborne.
It's got to be Ben Osborne. Ben Osborne's been brilliant last season and in the lead up to this season too. So for me, yeah, definitely Ben Osborne. We'll get on to that. We'll get on to that. Actually, we'll get on to it now. Oh my God, we really
Perfect.
are. I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry, mate. It's been a long time since we've done a preview. So back to me. Here we go. So the predicted lineup, let's bring it up on screen right now. This is predicted. This is not the lineup that I would necessarily go with. This is the same team that we put out against Doncaster Rovers in the first half. In all honesty, I would rather see Chris Basham at centre-back with Egan. Chris Basham's been excellent for us for some years now. I just feel like he's the obvious choice, but I don't think he's going to go that way. I think this is probably going to be the lineup. Burke played okay against Doncaster Rovers. He was poor at times, but I think he'll be really good in the championship season. Obviously, got Mousse up top. Mousse, top goal scorer from pre-season. So that's what we like to see. But we did see Callum Robinson being top goal scorer in the first Premier League campaign. And look what happened to him. So let's hope Mousse doesn't go that way. So fingers crossed it's going to be those three up top. It could be two strikers and an attacking midfielder, or it could be kind of three attackers, or maybe McGoldrick and Burke just slightly wider. But yeah, I think he's going to go 4-3-3. He could even go 5-2-3, I think it is, if that's right. So we don't know. We haven't got a clue, really. We've not seen enough of them to know which formation he's going to play. He's played both. So who knows? Let's see what's going to happen, Hal. What do you think? You put yours on Twitter, didn't you?
Yeah, do check it out at Sheffield United Way. Against Europa Point, we played 3-4-3. Against Doncaster Rovers, 4-3-3. I like the 4-3-3 more. It's a system that can be switched effortlessly to a 4-1-2-1-2. I've put what I would go with, and I firmly believe in it. As I say, I'm not going to spoil it now because we want more followers. So do check us out on all our social media accounts. Thanks, Steve York. £5 English. That's brilliant.
That's one thing that we really need to talk about, though. No signings, Hal. Ben Davies, I would like to have seen him in early because I would love to see him, Ben Davies, playing centre-back for us. Ronaldo Vieira, I don't know a lot about him, but it sounds like he's going to be a very good defensive midfielder. Worried about no signings?
No. If you ever play Football Manager, if you don't make any signings, you actually have more team cohesion and you hit the ground running. And because we've not really had a pre-season, the worst pre-season ever, even worse than last season's preseason. That worries me. But we don't have to get lots of players used to any new back four. Aaron Ramsdale knows these players; they know him. That wasn't the case last season. We brought a lot of new players in, and it unsettled. We don't have that worry this time. We need bodies, but at the moment, I'm okay with it because let's not get anyone for the sake of it. We are going to sign Vieira, and we might sign Ben Davies.
Yeah, I don't think we need bodies. I really don't think we do. We've got a big squad, a very, very big squad. Lots of strikers. That's why I'm still not sure about this 3-4-3 because McGoldrick has never been a left-sided player in his life. So I'm not sure about that. I'd much rather see no wingers, two up top, and McGoldrick in the hole, just kind of moving around. But yeah,
Samesies.
Yeah,
exactly that.
Oh, I was just going to ruin your Twitter predicted lineup. Sorry.
All right,
Anyway,
all right.
Let's move on, shall we, Hal? And we'll move on to the opposition team news and predicted lineup. So take the floor.
Birmingham City will likely play a 3-4-1-2. They've been busy in the transfer market, unlike Den Blades, bringing in the likes of Ryan Woods. You might remember him at Brentford, and Chuck Sanike on free transfers. Liboya has also used the loan market to boost his squad. He's got a goalkeeper called Sarkic. He's got a winger called Chong, who's been signed on a one-year loan deal from Manchester United. He's got big hair. You'll be familiar with him if you've been looking at our graphics. You would have thought, will be without midfielder Sunjic, but he might now be fit. We were reading in the middle of the week he wasn't going to make it. Reading today, he might be ready. Elsewhere, defender Dion Sanderson, who I wasted ages doing loads of research on because he was linked with us, has signed for Birmingham. He's going to miss the trip to Bramall Lane, though. And Neil Etheridge, the goalkeeper, looks unlikely to feature as he's recovering from COVID-19. Chelsea loanee Juan Castillo is also available, despite not featuring in the friendlies. So he could come straight into the side. That'll depend on if Lee Bowyer plays wing-backs or not. Their captain is Harley Dean. Last season, their danger man was top scorer with just 8. Lucas Jutkovic.
That dude. Yeah.
So I'm going to say Sarkic in goal, then Colin, Roberts, Dean, Pedersen, Bella, Woods, Gardner, Chong, Lecco, and Jutkovic.
Have you not heard his name said before?
I just struggle. I do struggle.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on from you struggling. And actually, yeah, you tend to struggle with the score predictions too, don't you? So go on then. Give me yours.
2-0, Didsey and Osborne.
Fair enough. Do you know what I did? I was going to go 2-0. That was my very instant thought. And then I went 2-1. I went safe. I sat on the fence very slightly because, I just don't ever feel like a Sheffield United team can not concede goals other than that Premier League season. The first one, not the second one.
We're just going to call last season the season that never happened. We didn't like the shirts. We didn't like the season.
No, we didn't. Or the players for the most part, really.
Not including Jefferson.
Definitely not Jebbo. Didsey and Jebbo, legends.
Yeah,
and Rammers for a bit of it. And Osborne.
Yeah.
And a few others.
Egan. Bulldog.
and lunch.
No. We nearly got through it. We nearly got through it without you mentioning that cursed name.
Shall we never mention it ever again?
I'm happy with that. Happy with that.
Let's do that. Anyway, so we're both saying the Blades win.
We're both saying the Blades win.
If I'm being honest, mate, I do not care what the score is. It could be 1-0 coming off someone's backside in the last minute, in the first minute, in the 45th minute. We just need to win this game. Like, a lot of clubs have come down from the Premier League getting spanked every week, and then they've carried on that downwards trajectory. We need to come straight out of the blocks, score a couple of early goals, win the game. Jobs are good in because we've got two difficult away games after that too, haven't we?
Oh, yeah, big time. Swansea, West Brom. Pop your scores in below if you're watching live or later. And Nick, I'm going to take you back to a game where we didn't actually win, which is very rare for me with our memorable match. But it was a great game. 24th of August, 1996, a 4-4 draw. Paul Furlong and Mike Newell playing up front for Birmingham, and their first goals for the club put Blues 2-0 up before Gareth Taylor netted on the stroke of half-time. Then it was just a crazy second half. Andy Walker on 67 and 72, and then Gareth Taylor again on 70, put the Blades in command. So we're thinking, here we go, we've won this. Paul Devlin got a 75th minute penalty for Birmingham, and then another that you'll recognise. Jonathan Hunt on 83.
What's going on? You
Salvage
just
the
mentioned
draw.
about 300,000 players that have played for both, and you've just ruined player connections for us. We might as well finish the video now.
By the way, the Blues went on to finish 10th that season after the 4-all, and the Blades, of course, would reach the playoff final. But yeah, as I've mentioned, all the players that played for both will do player connections.
There's Paul Furlong as well that we've not even got in there, but we'll let the audience get a few in. So put them in the comments now. We're just going to quickly go through ours. So first of all, Hal, I'm going to give you Mark Duffe. Of course, it's got to be Duffe. He's one of my favourite Blades players of all time. I loved the little magician. However, what I found weird was that Birmingham fans hated him with a passion. This is, it was terrible, this, that, and the other. He only actually played 4 games for him. 4 tiny little games, 0 goals, went on loan to Chelsea for 4 games, which I didn't know. I didn't have a clue that he went on loan to Chelsea. And then he went to Burton for 45 games, scoring 8 goals, played really, really well for Burton. And then we signed him in League One and 111 games, 15 goals. What an absolute little magician. But 15 goals from 111 games doesn't tell the whole story because he was excellent. It wasn't just the assists that he got involved in. It was the assist of the assists. Duffy was the king of the assist because he held onto the ball so well, creating space, playing through kind of Ender Stevens or George Baldock, someone like that, to whip the ball in and score goals. So massive, massive fan of Mark Duffy. Played for Birmingham, played for the Blades.
I could say Gary Ablett. I could say Chris Marsden. I'm not. Instead,
stop giving everyone ideas. You're supposed to put them in the comments.
Instead, I'm going to say Curtis Woodhouse.
There he is. Look at his little face.
You took the words right out of my mouth, and we'll stop that Meatloaf song right there. Love that Blade shirt. Not so fond of that Birmingham shirt. Both the baggy era, which is when, of course, Curtis played. I was a big fan of Curtis. Such a tough tackler. I do feel like if he had stayed at the lane and, more importantly, stayed interested in the game of professional football, he could have been a really top talent and could have gone, maybe played for England at full level. Who knows? Because he really did have that much ability. Just no one could get past him. He was just so good at tackling, at getting stuck in. He was so brave, and he had a great left foot as well. But I do think that he'd already decided once he made it pro, I like this, but I don't love it.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks very similar now to then as well, doesn't it?
If you say so.
Anyway, let's move on from that. I hope he's not watching. Next up, Paul Devlin.
The amount of times he's ignored our DMs.
Oh, that's a true story. I completely forgot about that.
Trust me,
no, not our DMs, my DMs. And it feels personal now. I think if you'd have gone in there, it'd have gone, oh, yeah, Hal, no problem, mate, no problem. But me, no, don't like me.
Curtis has properly chinned you off. In fact, one day we'll tell a story about some of the players we've approached and some of the stories that have fallen because of that.
We've got some good ones. Anyway,
got some good ones. Good ones.
We might do a little podcast on it one of these days, I reckon. Might be a good idea. Anyway, let's move on and let's go to friend of the channel, Paul Devlin, absolute legend. We love the guy. However, he's coming to Sheffield. I tweeted back to him earlier on because I know that he's going to be supporting Birmingham. He's a Brummie himself. He played for him twice. And even though he loves Sheffield United, I think he loves Birmingham City a little tiny bit more. Anyway, so Paul Devlin was with Birmingham between 96 and 98, 76 games, 28 goals. I'm believing in that time he was playing more of a striker, so that's why he scored quite a few goals. For us, less goals in like double the amount of games. We've got 147 games for the Blades, 24 goals. But in that time, he won Player of the Year. He won a lot of fans' hearts. He was just absolutely brilliant. They don't make them like this anymore, Hal, do they? They don't make wingers like these.
Wingers that can also get stuck in don't exist.
No, not at all. And then he went on loan to Birmingham from us, which I'm thinking that was kind of to test the waters. 13 games, 1 goal. And then he signed for them permanently in 2002, just before the triple assault season, really. 2002. That was in 0203. 34 games for Birmingham, 3 goals in that period. Just a very, very good player, a very good professional.
Agreed. Now, I could say Tommy Mooney.
Stop it.
I could say Jeff Horsfield. I could even say Ian Bennett, but I'm not going to. I'm going to say Marcelo, the Brazilian-born Portuguese striker who scored 25 goals in 65. That's just in the league. He got a few more in the cup. Really good striker for us. He actually got just 1 goal less for Birmingham City. Incredibly, he played more games for Birmingham. He did the Blades. It felt like he was much more a Blade than a Blue. I remember him fondly. Really thought he was a talent. And when we had got rid of all our strikers, we weren't expecting us to go and get someone as good as him. But yeah, it was magnificent.
Yeah, absolutely. And guess what? Hal didn't do the song.
Marcy, Marcelo.
Hal did the song. I brought that on myself, didn't I?
You did. Put your former Blue Noses and Blades in the comments down below.
There we go. Scott Hogan. Shall we just run through a few? Scott Hogan, Peter Unlove, Paul Pesky. Got some great play. We've swapped a lot of players, haven't we, Hal?
Oh, I was actually thinking about this earlier. There's so many. Marcus Bent, Ravel Morrison, Brian Howard, Kyle Bartley,
Brian Howard.
Donaldson. Yeah, I think
when
Brian,
did that happen?
Che Adams, David George Best Cottrell. Loads. There's loads.
So many, mate. So many. David Olsworth was a big one because at that point, David Olsworth was one of our best players, in my opinion. And we sold him for, I think it was like 2 million over about 10 years or something like that. And they just absolutely mugged us off.
Yeah, they did well.
Anyway, Trevor Roque, Ronald's put, no idea. I wouldn't know. I obviously know Trevor Roque is, but yeah, I didn't know that he played for Birmingham too.
Yeah, he did. I worked with a Birmingham fan who's of that era. He's always going on about Trevor.
Fair play. Fair play. Anyway, shall we leave it there, Hal? Oh, Lee Endre, another
much.
Great one. Another great one. Let's leave it there. I think so. Do you not?
Definitely played for Villa.
Steve doesn't get things wrong.
All right, I'll go with it. I can't remember.
Are you trying to mug Steve off? He's just given us a fiver and you're trying to mug him off.
I'm sure he did play for Birmingham. I don't remember.
Fair enough. Anyway, let's leave it there. I'm going to stop winding you up, Hal. And yeah, you're going to see everybody tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, he didn't play for Birmingham. Just looked it up.
Steve don't get things wrong, though. So he must have done at some point. Maybe a testimonial.
7:30.
Yeah. See you later, guys. Have a good one.